You are born in a wing of Walter Reed Hospital that officially doesn't exist on the building's blueprints. Your first breath isn't greeted by the cooing of extended family, but by the static of a radio earpiece. The doctor who delivers you has signed a non-disclosure agreement so strict that breaching it would constitute treason. You don't get a name immediately, you get a code name. Before your mother even holds you, a man in a dark suit speaks into his wrist. Package is secure. Eagle 2 is active. Your nursery isn't a room, it's a hardened facility. The windows are bulletproof polycarbonate, thick enough to stop a .50 caliber round. You don't have a nanny, you have a rotation of women with master's degrees in child psychology and concealed carry permits. By the time you are 3, you learn that your father isn't just dad. He is an entity. He is a face on the television, a voice on the radio, and a signature on executive orders. When he enters the room, the air pressure changes. Men who are twice his size stiffen and stare at the wall. You learn to be quiet, not because you are well-behaved, but because you sense the tension that follows him like a storm front. You have every toy imaginable. A rocking horse hand-carved by Austrian artisans, a train set that is a scale replica of the Trans-Siberian Railway. But you play with them alone. You learn very quickly that the other children, the ones you see on screens or through the thick glass of the motorcade, live in a world of color. You live in a world of beige, gray, and silence. The realization. The first time you realize you are a prisoner happens when you are 7. You are at the Camp David retreat. It looks like a forest, but it's actually a fortress disguised as nature. You wander 10 feet off the designated path to chase a squirrel. Immediately, 3 trees start talking. They aren't trees, of course. They are tactical agents in ghillie suits who have been standing perfectly still for 4 hours, watching you. They gently guide you back to the path. One of them hands you the squirrel. He caught it with his bare hands. You realize then that nothing around you is wild. Everything is controlled. Everything is staged for your safety. School is a logistical nightmare. You don't take a bus, you take a convoy. You sit in the back of the Beast, a Cadillac that weighs as much as a tank and is sealed against biological attacks. Inside, it smells like leather and stale, recycled air. You watch the city of D.C. roll by like a movie you aren't allowed to star in. At your private academy, the other parents have coached their children. You can see it in their eyes. The other kids want to be your friend, but they are terrified. They know that if they push you on the playground, their dad's tax returns might get audited next week. You make a friend, named Timmy. 2 weeks later, Timmy disappears. You find out later his father was a lobbyist for a foreign oil company and was using Timmy to get playdates at the White House. Timmy wasn't your friend. Timmy was a geopolitical asset. You stop trying to make friends after that. You learn that intimacy is a security risk, the mechanics of the life. Your teenage years are defined by the protocol. The protocol is a 400-page binder that dictates where you can go, what you can eat, and who you can talk to. You want to go to the movies? That requires a 48-hour lead time, so the Secret Service can sweep the theater for explosives and background check the employees. You end up sitting in a cordoned-off row surrounded by guys named Agent Miller who are wearing sunglasses in the dark. You can't even hold hands with your date because Agent Miller is watching you, and he's recording the timestamp of every movement for the official log. Dating is impossible. Every girl you bring home has to be vetted by the FBI. By the time she's cleared to enter the residence, the spark is gone. She's terrified. She's not looking at you. She's looking at the sniper on the roof of the West Wing. You realize you can only date other elites, daughters of senators, nieces of billionaires, because they are the only ones who understand the cage. But you don't love them. You're just merging empires. And then there's your father. The public sees the family man. They see the Thanksgiving photo ops where he carves the turkey and smiles at you. They don't see what happens 5 minutes later. The camera's cut, the smile vanishes, and he disappears into the Situation Room because a drone strike in the Middle East just went wrong. You sit at the dinner table alone, eating a meal prepared by a Michelin star chef, served by a naval steward who calls you sir. You ask the steward how his day was just to hear a human voice. He replies, "Operational, sir." You become an expert in reading your father's stress. You know that when he taps his left foot, the economy is crashing. When he rubs his temple, a bill failed in the Senate. When he doesn't look you in the eye, soldiers are dying somewhere. You carry the weight of the free world at the breakfast table, but you aren't allowed to vote. You turn 21. You are the first son. You are the most eligible bachelor on the planet. You attend Yale or Harvard, not because you're smart, though you are, but because your last name is a brand that the university needs. You go to parties in lofts in Manhattan and villas in the Hamptons. You walk in and the music stops. All eyes turn to you. You are a celebrity, but you haven't done anything. You are famous by proximity. People hand you drinks, offer you drugs, offer you their bodies. They want to be close to the power. They think some of it will rub off on them like gold dust. You drink to drown out the noise. You drink top-shelf scotch that costs $4,000 a bottle, and it tastes like nothing. There is a specific night you remember. You are on a rooftop in D.C., overlooking the monuments. The city is glowing. You are surrounded by models, influencers, and future congressmen. Everyone is laughing, everyone is beautiful, and you have never felt more violently alone. You look at your phone. You have 500 contacts, but no one you can call who won't sell the conversation to TMZ. You look at the Secret Service agents standing by the door. They are the only constant relationship in your life. They know you better than your father does. They know when you sleep, what you eat, and who you sleep with. They know your secrets, not because they care, but because it's their job. You realize you are a prop. You are a human shield for your father's poll numbers. If you screw up, if you get a DUI, if you punch a paparazzi, it's not just a mistake. It's a national crisis. You are paralyzed by the potential consequences of your own existence. Eventually, the term ends. Your father leaves office. The moving trucks come. You think it's over. You think you can finally be normal, but you're wrong. The presidency isn't a job. It's a radiation exposure. It stays in your DNA. You try to get a job, but no one hires you for your skills. They hire you for your Rolodex. You try to travel, but people recognize you in airports in Tokyo and cafes in Paris. Aren't you? They ask. You want to say no. You want to say you're just a guy named Mike, but you can't. You watch your father age rapidly. The power that sustained him is gone, leaving a hollow shell of a man who stares at cable news, critiquing his successor. You see your future in his face. You realize the ultimate irony of your life. You were born into the highest level of privilege in human history. You had access to jets, palaces, and kings. You walked the halls of power where history was written. But as you sit in your sterile, high-security penthouse, looking down at the anonymous people walking on the street below, people worrying about rent, people rushing to catch a bus, people arguing about petty things, you feel a burning, toxic envy. They have the one luxury you can never afford. They have the luxury of being nobody. You are the Prince of America. You have everything, and you are free to do absolutely nothing.